Hello, my mathematicians. Today we're going to look at lesson 11.11, which is about finding the volume of composite figures. Our essential question is, how can you find the volume of rectangular prisms that are combined?
Hey there! It certainly has been hot lately. So hot, in fact, our neighbors over here have decided to build a swimming pool. We are so excited. Ojai is watching the pool fill with water. Let's check with her to find out more about the pool. Wow, that's a nice pool. It will even have a deep end that is 2 meters deep and a shallow end that is 1 meter deep. To make sure the pool meets local regulations, builders need to determine the volume of the swimming pool. Now that's a tough problem. But you know what? I see some three-dimensional figures that look familiar. It kind of looks like two rectangular prisms combined. Maybe that's a clue to finding the solutions. Let's take a look. Come on!
Here's a problem about the volume of a composite figure. The shape shown is a composite figure. It's made up of two rectangular prisms that are combined. How can you find the volume of the figure? Let's unlock this problem. First, you need to break apart the solid figure into two rectangular prisms. Next, find the length, width, and height of each prism. You need to find the unknown height of the prism on the left. Think, the total height of both prisms is 7 inches. The other given height is 3 inches. Subtract the known height, 3 inches, from the total height, 7 inches. So the unknown height is 4 inches. The next step is to find the volume of each prism. Volume equals length times width times height. So let's work out the volume of the first prism. What's 3 times 5 times 4? The volume of the prism on the left is 60 cubic inches. Now find the volume of the other prism. What's 11 times 5 times 3? The volume of the prism on the right is 165 cubic inches. Finally, add the volumes of the rectangular prisms. 60 plus 165 equals 225. So the volume of the composite figure is 225 cubic inches. How can you find the volume of this figure? Let's unlock this problem. You can subtract the volumes of prisms formed in empty spaces from the greatest possible volumes to find the volume of a composite figure. First, find the greatest possible volume. To do that, we need to identify the greatest length, width, and height. What's the greatest length? It's 11 inches. What's the greatest width? It's 5 inches. What's the greatest height? It's 7 inches. Multiply the values to find the greatest possible volume. The greatest possible volume is 385 cubic inches. Now you need to find the volume of the prism in the empty space. How can you find the length of the empty space? Think about it. The total length of both prisms is 11 inches. The other given length is 3 inches. Subtract the known length, 3 inches, from the total length, 11 inches. So the length of the empty space is 8 inches. Now, find the width of the empty space. It's 5 inches. What's the height of the empty space? 7 minus 3 equals 4. So the height is 4 inches. Now that you know the length, width, and height of the empty space, what's the volume of the empty space? It's 160 cubic inches. Finally, subtract the volume of the empty space from the greatest possible volume. 385 minus 160 equals 225. So the volume of the composite figure is 225 cubic inches. Find the volume of the composite figure. Break apart the solid figure into 2 rectangular prisms. What's the height of the first rectangular prism?
Well, we have a total of 6, but this right here is 3, so 6 minus 3 is 3.
That's right. The height of the rectangular prism is 3 inches. What's the volume of the first rectangular prism?
So 3 times 5 is 15, times 3 is 45.
That's right. Its volume is 45 cubic inches. What's the volume of the other rectangular prism?
With 9 times 5 is 45. 45 times 3, so 4 times 3 is, or 40 times 3 is 120, and 3 times 5 is 15, so 135.
That's right. Its volume is 135 cubic inches. So what's the volume of the composite figure?
So we're going to add 135 plus 45, and that's going to give us 180.
That's right. 45 plus 135 equals 180. So the volume of the composite figure is 180 cubic inches. Let's find the volume of a composite figure. First, you need to divide the figure into 2 rectangular prisms. What's the volume of the first rectangular prism?
Well, 8 times 7 is 56. 56 times 2 is going to be 112.
That's right. Its volume is 112 cubic inches. What's the volume of the second rectangular prism?
4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24.
That's correct. Its volume is 24 cubic inches. Now, enter the volume of the composite figure.
So then you're going to add the 2 together. 112 plus 24 is 136 cubic inches.
That's it. The volume of the composite figure is 136 cubic inches.
That is all I have for you today. I'm going to ask that you answer one question for me and then rate your level of understanding using FIST to 5.